Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Celine Collins. This is Truly Helpful, the podcast that's truly designed for you, man. What's going on, y'all? I want to say thank you to everybody again, man, for subscribing, liking, and sharing, okay? And let's continue to keep doing that and building our community, all right? So cool. Again, like I said, this is Truly Helpful, and we're going to get right into it. So today, no pun intended, all right? When I wrote this title out, it did seem kind of cheesy, but this is real, okay? So the content for today is going to be, are you truly helpful, right? Are you truly helpful? And when I say that, I mean, we all have this thing where we want to help people, right? Well, most of us, right? We want to help people, but I charge you guys to think about this. Are you being helpful because you want to be helpful to people and actually want to help people? Or are you actually being helpful because for your own personal satisfaction? All right, so we're going to break that down a little bit. When I say that, now I know this is going to be controversial just like the last one, all right? But it is what it is. This is how I feel about this. I have a weird relationship when it comes to people feeding the homeless, but recording them feeding the homeless while they're doing it. Maybe that's just me. For me, I don't know if that intent of really being helpful to that homeless person and giving them a bite to eat and helping them out with toiletries or whatever you're giving them, even if it's some money, and you recording them as like some type of, in my opinion, like some type of like animal. You know what I'm saying? Or some object that's not like a real person. Bro, like maybe that person doesn't want to be on camera. And I'm sure most people don't go up to them like, hey, do you mind me recording you while I give you this cheeseburger? Like, you get what I'm saying? In my opinion, I think that's the thin line, right? I think that's the thin line, and I think a lot of people teeter and totter on, right? Because what most people don't know is I literally go to 3rd Street here in Charlotte. 3rd Street, I go definitely on the east side, Albemarle Road, also on Idlewild as well, as we know on that underbridge or whatever, where a lot of homeless people are, and anywhere downtown. Even when Tent City was there, all that kind of stuff, I give food out at least once a month. I don't even know my wife knows. She knows, but I don't broadcast it. It's just a thing that I do. I've been doing it for a while. I have family members that have been homeless, and so I know how that feels. For them, I haven't been homeless, thank God, but I've also lived a life sometimes where I've struggled for certain things, for sure. That's a fact. So I can just imagine how I felt when I was struggling and me and my brother were struggling sometimes growing up, how people that are homeless feel. I'm not putting a camera in front of their face, bro. Like, I'm not doing that. The only publicity I think I've ever done when it comes to like homeless and helping out homeless people where I'm like actually on a camera talking about it, not showing what I'm doing, is back in the day when we did the sock drive for Ascend Apparel. And I said, every time you buy a sock, me and Kamani were going to donate a pair of socks as well. No, 2 pairs of socks to equal your one order, right? To donate to the homeless. That's the only time. The only reason why I did that because I needed money from everybody to help me help people with socks, bro. Like, because it was wintertime coming up. So that's my thing. To get back on track, like, are we really, analyze that self and ask yourself that. When you help people out, when you give somebody a few dollars, are you doing that to kind of have that hanging over somebody's head? Like, oh, remember that time when I helped you out? You know that? Are you that person? Or are you truly giving that person some aid because they truly need it and you truly feel encouraged and have the ability to help them without anything in return? I think a lot of people struggle with that, man. I really do. And especially in the society that we are with social media where people broadcast their charity and what they do, and I'm the modern day Gandhi and all that. Like, I think that comes from a brand perspective, because I am a businessman as well. It's good for brand, right? If everybody thinks that you're like this great, wholesome person that just goes out and you're like Robin Hood, you steal from the rich and give to the poor type vibe. Like, that's good for branding, right? I get it. I'm just not with that, right? Like, I think a lot of people would say that. Now, my dear friend, my alarm brother, and also my producer here, we had this conversation off camera, and he had the idea. He was like, well, Lean, what about, I think he said he gets what I'm saying when I say about the homeless people and you're like filming them. But he also was like, yo, but also I think it's also good sometimes when people do that because that might give other people the idea to go and do the exact same thing, right? Because they've seen it. And most of the time in our day and age, with all these different things in your face or whatever, seeing good deeds instead of shade room or who did what with who and who broke up with who and who having a baby with who, putting something refreshing and heartfelt on your timeline, like truly helpful. Or, in other words, somebody giving something for a person in need. I get it. In my opinion, I don't really like it though. It's something about that in my spirit that just tells me I don't know. It don't feel right to me, right? That's just me though, and that's just my principles, and that's how my father raised me, my mother raised me. So Noni and Nas would not be doing the same thing. That's just how we feel. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel over here. But also, I want to talk on the other end of are you being helpful to all of my helpers here, my real people that have a heart of gold that will do anything and everything for anybody. That is so great. I am in this boat with you. Believe me, we want the best for everybody. We want everybody to succeed. But at the same time, y'all, I think we have a crazy and serious problem of doing too much. We need to say no sometimes. I think there's a very thin line between being helpful and helping and being used. I'm not talking from an aspect of somebody that hasn't felt that or deal with that. I deal with that on a day-to-day basis. My wife, Jasmine, constantly talks to me at least once a week, it feel like. She talks to me at least once a week about Salim, yo, I get that you want to help this person out, but we got a family and we need help right now, right? You need help right now. You can't help somebody and give somebody your last when we running on fumes over here. And she's right. To all my helpers, all my doers, all those people that want to always give the shirt off your back. Sometimes, y'all, we can't afford to give the shirt off our back. And that's just being real. And that doesn't mean you're not a helpful person. That doesn't mean God's going to be upset with you. That's actually you being a real adult and learning that sometimes, bro, I don't have it to give. And that's fine. And the intent, you still, that person should know that you would do that and you would help them anytime if you actually had it, right? But also I realize this too. My mother has this issue. I have this issue. My grandfather's over my shoulder. He had this issue. We give so much to our detriment. Stop giving so much to people to our detriment. And a lot of times, it's so weird. You always attract people that some people really do need help. And I'm cool with that. But there are some people that are actually more able and more willing to not need help. And like they don't need as much assistance as they portray. Right? Like they need money, but they come from parents that have money. And their parents are not like on some I cut you off type vibe. Their parents actually like give them money. They're just bad stewards of their money. But then when they are low on their rent or like don't have enough money for their rent because they went and spurs on some sneakers or if they have a habit and they smoke a lot and they smoking instead of paying a rent or whatever like that, they call us to help them. You get what I'm saying? We got to have discernment, y'all. We got to understand that, look, bro, you put yourself in this situation, or ma'am, and I can't be your lifesaver for this. You're gonna have to go through that pain. You're gonna have to go through that suffering a little bit because you need to be corrected. And to have these guardrails and life needs to life you a little bit for you to understand that, bro, it's your responsibility to take care of your responsibilities. Not somebody else's responsibility to take care of you. Especially if you are old, able, and willing adult. For me, I lose respect for people like that, right? I have family members like that. Like their whole life, they live life bouncing to one person, to the next person, to the other person to take care of them. And they're a whole adult. And people that have genuine intentions also get burned because of those people. And so when the time comes around that we meet somebody that really, truly, honestly needs help, we're deflated or we don't have any more resources. Or honestly, let's be honest with you, we have this, we're angry right now because we've given so much to a person that just used us. And now we have the opportunity to really help somebody and be helpful to somebody that's in front of us that really needs it. And it could be life changing. And we don't do it. Why? Because we got burnt by the person who was just using us. So all my helpers, all my doers, please, y'all, please do not keep just overextending yourself. I'm learning that, y'all. So I'm not just talking to y'all like on something I don't know. Like I'm learning that right now. I gotta stop overextending myself. I gotta stop saying yes to so many people, bro. Like, cause in reality, I have a wife, I have 2 children, I have a brother, I have a mom, I have family, I have friends in my core circle that need my attention, right? Like my real attention, my real resources, my real money, right? And I can't sit there and always put all this stuff on my plate to try to be like Captain Save everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's the most edited version of that ever. Okay. But you know what I'm saying? But like real talk, like you can't really do that. So, and also on the other end, I'm going to talk to the people that if you feel like every time you talk to somebody, you're literally calling somebody or you're reaching out to some, bro, I was just checking on you just because you know on the back end you're going to ask for something, bro, stop doing that. Stop doing that. If you don't have a concern or a real effort of just building a relationship with somebody and staying in contact with somebody because you truly care about how they're doing, what the kids are up to, how's the wife, you know what I'm saying? Don't hit their phone saying, hey, bro, I was just thinking about you, just checking on you. But then on the back end, a few text messages later, you're going to ask me for something. Stop doing that. That's corny. That's goofy. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with asking for help, but there's definitely something wrong in using people when you don't necessarily need to be, definitely don't need to be using them, right? Stop using people, bro. Use people for aid, and it should be, and let me talk about this too. There should be a transferable thing when it comes to help, right? There should be a transferable thing, all right? I give you something and you give me something back in return. Now, sometimes I understand there are times where there's just things where sometimes we just giving this to give, and that's good. That's what we're supposed to do. But I'm talking about to those people that you know that you have something to give and you're just taking, bro, shame on you, man. Real talk. Shame on you. People are not supposed to be drained empty or, you know, you're not supposed to be a leech to people, bro. That's just not real. You're not supposed to do that. How do you sleep well at night doing that? So I'm talking to you. So if it's triggered, I'm talking to you. All right? Stop doing that. And I'm not like from then on, from what you've been doing in the past is unacceptable. So now that you heard me say it and I'm talking to you, change that. Change that. All right? Like we got to do better than that, because what you're not doing is, yeah, you're getting your gain, but but on this other end, you're hurting people. Those people that are helping you may not tell you that that's their last dollar, and they gave it to you thinking that they were helping you, and honestly, you just going out and you're squandering that aid that they gave you, right? So let's think about that. Let's be real human beings with a heart and understand that you are hurting somebody if you are using them. Stop using people just for your benefit. All right. Also, while I'm elaborating that, and it's gonna be the last thing I'll say about that. These other people that come around in your circle, right? You have some type of success, and you start to see all these people coming around in your circle, right? There are some people that come and God put them in your space because they're there to elevate you even higher. But there are also some that are there literally just to leech. They try to infiltrate your structure, your home, who you are as a person, because they feel like they can gain something from you. Right? It's like these hidden agenda type of people. Stay clear of those people. Stay very clear. They'll show you 100% if you step back and evaluate the situation. You always constantly see that they kind of pry, They're always trying to ask for how did you get this or what did you do with that. And if you want to help them, that's great. I help people all the time and get people free game all the time. That's what I do every week. But at the same time, you kind of know those people that are trying to be in your inner circle and you're thinking that they're just a good people. They're good people, but they're in there for their own gain. You don't want people around you for their own gain solely, right? Everybody, let's be honest, it's a world of using people anyway. Like for instance, like right, if I'm being real honest, my line brother, who's also my producer, I use Sump to be my producer, right? Sump has a camera. Sump knows how to edit. Sump knows how to put things in frame and make things look cool. Make me look way cooler than I am in real life, right? I get what I'm saying. No, I'm just joking. I'm kind of cool sometimes. But he does do a great job, right? So I'm using something in that aspect, but also something's using me. I'm giving something back. There is a form of payment that is pursued with that. Also, the bigger this podcast goes, my loyalty to Sump, when we get bigger, he's going to always be here. That's a fact. Because he believed in me when nobody else would believe in me, right? He showed his time and appreciation. That's a give and take. You get what I'm saying? Also on this platform, the bigger we get, people know y'all need to tap in with Sumter Productions for y'all podcast. I ain't stingy. I'll let y'all get them. As long as y'all don't interfere with my podcast. You know what I'm saying? But cool. But anyway, that's real though. But that's a give and take. Me and my brother we're using each other, but to heighten each other in different aspects. I have something that he needs. He has something that I need. That's what it's all about. All right. So I think, like I said, let's get me clear. There's a thin line between helping people and then being used. Let's not be used. And also on the other end, there's a thin line between asking for help because you really need it and you're just using people. Let's stop both of those aspects. Let's chill. And also with my people pleasers, I'm a people person. Ex people pleaser. Okay? Say no. It ain't gonna hurt. I got a lot of people, and I don't mean no disrespect. I got a lot of people that's asking me to be on my podcast. And I appreciate that. But you are asking to be on my podcast. You have never bought a hat. You don't even follow the podcast page. You don't like or subscribe anything, but here you are with a DM or a text message asking me, hey man, can I get on the podcast? Ooh, that trigger, I know. But that's real. Let's keep it a buck. Now I'm cool, don't get me wrong. But when I start having guests on there, I gotta have guests that I want on the show that fit the mode of being truly helpful. They're gonna come on here and give game to the viewers. But also somebody that believes honestly, organically in what we're doing, not because you want to come on here and talk about the newest thing that you got popping off. That's cool, but that ain't what we here for. We here to help. So if you want to be on the podcast, I'm gonna say this now, so nobody can just go on my DMs and stuff like that. Like, subscribe, share, follow the podcast page, and if you have money, buy a hat or a shirt or whatever we got coming out when it comes out. Don't ask for something and nothing in return. That doesn't make sense. That's not being helpful, right? And then also have something to talk about when you get on here. Don't say, oh, I just want to come on. What? This is not just the Kick It podcast. This is the Truly Helpful podcast. We really come on here for a reason. I'm not getting on here every week just to talk to y'all about nothing. We trying to help. Today we talking about, are you really helpful? This is a learning lesson. I'm learning it. You're learning it. All right, let's learn this together. All right. So guys, people pleasers, say no. There's a thin line between helping somebody and being used. And there's also a thin line between using somebody and actually needing help and aid. Okay. So, man, it's a lot. It's a lot with this. But I've been going on for a while, so I want to end it right here. All I want to say is this. When you go out in this world and be helpful, make sure that you honestly and truly are doing it for the real reason that the world was even created, to help others, right? Be a good human being in society, and just don't be a gatekeeper. Make sure that you helping the next generation or the next person or your counterpart, whoever it is, reach the level that they want to reach. right? And at the same time, make sure that that person is giving something in exchange. All right, let's do that. Let's make that a healthy thing in our community. I can't talk about other communities, but I know in my community, that's a real thing. Stop trying to get over on people. All these people, these self gurus and stuff. Shame on y'all, man. Shame on y'all. Y'all taking broken people, putting them in a room, making them pay thousands of dollars for you to tell them something that you saw on the internet, bro. That's goofy. You're not taking the time out to even talk to them one-on-one after they paid thousands of dollars to be at your conference. That's goofy. Are you really there to help, or you there to get a check? Now, by all means, when I start my conferences and stuff like that, we gonna get a check because we got valuable information, but it's gonna be something valuable. It's gonna be something that you can take home with you, and then it's up to you to go and use that thing for your better benefit, right? Right? So let's make sure that we out in this world, we're being truly helpful to people. We're not just trying to use people, not trying to just run up the bag on people's hurt and pain or lack of education on a particular subject. Make sure we're really trying to educate these people, help these people, and be one for the people. All right. So look, this your boy, this is Salim Collins, Truly Helpful, the podcast. The podcast is truly designed for you. And just remember, man, go in this world and be helpful. I'll let y'all next week. All right. Peace.